Let's just land for a moment. Just close your eyes and relax. Take a couple of deep breaths. So just to check your feet, if you are sitting at a desk with your legs down, make sure your feet are parallel, not crossed to the ankles. And hello, Manuel. And other than that, if you're just sitting in the regular cross-legged position, you want to be, you want your knees and your hips to be comfortable. So if you are tight in that area and this is not a super comfortable position for you, you can raise your sits bones. Make sure they're on something nice and firm. And you can have a couple of cushions underneath either knee. So the hands are in the meditation mudra, the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. You don't want your pelvic bowl to be tipping too far backward. So you just want to be on top of your sit bones and your shoulders aligned with your hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head, lengthening out of the top of the head. You can imagine someone is pulling that little string. And imagine your crown of your head is reaching for the ceiling. The head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes down, looking along the length of the nose if they were open, and the tip of the tongue, the roof of the mouth. Welcome, Elizabeth. And Susan, welcome. Let's just draw our attention to the crown now again and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, and take your attention to the back of the eye. Just relax the whole of the eye socket and the nose, the area around the mouth and the jaw. And relax the back of the head, the occipital bone. Try and relax any tension in that area. And imagine you're shining a nice warm light or a torch to your eardrum, to your ear canal. And it just warms the inner ear, relaxes the inner ear. And as you're doing that, you can imagine the back of the tongue relaxing, that mandible joint. Relax your temple and just release any tension in the neck, the shoulders, the shoulder blades, and the upper thoracic region in between those shoulder blades. And relax the throat and the chest, and the belly, and your limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And just bring the mind to the breath. And as we notice the sensation of the air as it's flowing in as we're inhaling and flowing out as we're exhaling. And just take a moment to notice if there's any sound in your environment, in your house, outside your home, pets or people, traffic. And notice what draws your attention or distracts you. What sounds are you attracted to? And just take note. And then just bring your mind back to the breath and allow those sounds just to be there, fade into the background. And you may notice you have thoughts arising, opinions, feelings, emotions. So try not to engage, just allow them to flow. It's like a river of mental moments. Just bringing the breath, bringing the mind back home to the breath. So just do a mini equanimity meditation. So just imagine here, bring to your mind all the people of your life and your loved ones. These are the people that take care of you, check in on you, help push you forward when you need it, a little bit of a nudge. And they love you. You love them. These are your friends, your family. And then there are those people you don't like terribly much. In the text, they label that particular group as the enemy. Just a continuum of really disliking, from not really liking that much to really wanting to stay away from these people because they're harmful. And then there's the strangers, and these are the people that we are fairly indifferent to. Maybe we don't remember their name, or we don't think about them. We certainly probably wouldn't worry about them. It's good to remember, though, that however we feel about these people today, they could change places in our lives at any time. This is excellent to remember, because we then don't take our relationships that are precious to us so much for granted, knowing that it could change. And it takes considerable merit to have good, healthy relationships, and they take work. So we don't want to take them for granted. So all these different groups of people, they're all the same. Actually, they deserve our equal concern, and because they're the same as us in their wish to be happy, constantly looking for it, never quite ever being able to find it. And they wish to be free from suffering, and always running into problems. And they're all the same in this unbelievable capacity, having this capacity for this enlightened mind. So let's just bring to mind all these people, all sentient beings, all the people up north in northern New Mexico who are experiencing these fires, all the animals who are probably just terrified, harmed, injured. So just send all the prayers that we can up that direction. And then also for people suffering from COVID and Ukraine, Poland, Russia. So I just think I'm going to do this purification practice for all these people. And if there's someone in your life, maybe who wouldn't come to a practice like this, or wouldn't have time for it, or maybe not even interested, you can, or would be interested but that's not able to somehow, you can bring them, put them on the couch next to you or wherever you're sitting, and just imagine that they're there doing it with you, if you wish. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we're going to create positivity doing this purification practice and counteract that negativity. So first is the power of regret, of the four opponent powers. This is sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, specific situations. And then regret all in general, perhaps some you don't remember. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we know from the present, our present suffering or anything that we're experiencing that's uncomfortable, we don't really want to invite any more into our lives. So logically, we want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So also regret any anger or attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Guru Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods in this case. Imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can imagine this is your teacher, your Lama, your trusted mentor, your spirit, however you see this person who's helping you spiritually. It may not necessarily be your root guru. It might be someone who, for the time being, is just helping you along. Or you could imagine someone like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. This is the mind of that person manifesting in this aspect just for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, almost like a hologram, except radiating light. And he's seated cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. Not a drop of mud on it. It's the same as our enlightened potential, is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this radiant, beautiful face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. And he has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing a 5-pointed crown, and it's kind of like encrusted with jewels, and sparkling. And then he has necklaces and a belt of jewelry around his waist, and jewelry around his arms, his ankles, and his wrists. He's wearing these beautiful robes. They're kind of like celestial silks in the Royal Indian style. So probably not more robes, but more like scarves and shawls and like harem pants. It's kind of draped over his body. And he's sitting there, it's all kind of floating in the wind. Light. He has an aura around his head of light and an aura of light around his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And there being crossed represents the union of these two, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion, symbolizing enlightenment. This is enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And just a little bit about compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a compassionate mind towards them. So just think of someone you've harmed and someone who's harmed you. And just try and develop compassion. And particularly for the person who's harmed you, the reason we develop compassion for them is because of the suffering that they're going to experience in the future because of the harm they've caused you. So I think I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the taking of the medicine, the actual practice, the visualization and the recitation of the mantra. So Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful white nectar very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely and forcing out of your lower orifices all the negativity of your body, all the negativities of your body, negative harm you've done with your body, and it disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Nidameboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So the minute they see you or sense you or feel you or even smell you, benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the speech. And Guru Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown. And it fills you completely, filling your entire body, except this time it's almost like flushing out and filling up to the top of the body and flowing out, flushing out all the negativity of your speech, and it disappears into space. And it's almost like you're getting rid of all this gossip and harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. It's all disappearing as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. So the moment they hear your voice, it benefits their mind. Your words are only words that are beneficial to others kind of fall out of your mouth. How amazing would that be? So the next is a purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and into your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's the same here. The minute the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of the mind is instantly dispelled. So all our depression and anxiety and attachments and anger, grasping and neediness, not feeling like we're enough, and our judgments and our jealousies and critical thoughts and bitterness. All of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all of your delusions, which are the source of all of our suffering, all your suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. They're gone. And there's no room now in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next, we purify the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending out light again and nectar. And if you wish, you can just count a couple of mantras each for the visualizations of the body and of the speech and of the mind. Or if that's too much for your mind, it's too busy, you can imagine just light and nectar pouring into you from Vajrasattva's heart, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So how amazing. So now we come to the power of resolve. But first, just rejoice in your practice this evening, in your practice over the last more than 12 months now, coming regularly night after night after night. Amazing. And don't think for a second it's not doing anything. It's really changing. It's probably changing you on even a deeper level than a cellular level. It's changing the mind, creating positive energy in the mind. So rejoice for that. And then rejoice for any progress that you've been making with all of these habits that we all have, because we're human and we have habits and we do stuff. So rejoice for the progress that you've made, the changes that you've been making. And then think of something that you can work on this evening. Make it really specific and give yourself a time, whether it be 3 seconds to refrain from saying something, or 30 seconds, or overnight while you're asleep, whether it's refraining from biting your nails, having too much chocolate, whatever it is, whatever your thing is that you're working on right now. And don't forget to rejoice. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech, and mind and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. So just quickly, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of the negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a moment. And in this way, look at all phenomena as being empty. Things do not exist from their own side. They're dependent arisings. There's cause and effect. And think also that perhaps the way things are appearing to me might not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created this evening, doing this purification, to all those people of our life, to all the people up north, northern Santa Fe, northern New Mexico, all the people in Ukraine, everyone in the world suffering from COVID. Just send out light and all your merit to them, and anyone in your mind that you can think of who might need it. And then think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single happiness and benefit in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Apalams Rinpoche. Tob Shul Chang Jin Jiang Gong Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelway Kunza Dog Por Chog Sum Kurwe Leg Mon Tu Dru Pa Dag Sol Du Je Dogon Du Jab Ten Shu. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intention descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Well, there we are again, gone like a dream. Thank you very much, everybody. Lots of love. Good night. Sleep with the angels, whatever angels you have in your life.